properties. Default. No, I've got it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. This is fine. See, this is fine.
There's Shalene's mic.
There's one of them.
This is fine. Should we start over again? Should we start over? Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of Gamestack. This is the 2017 Stack Awards. I'm Shalene, and joining me today is Rick.
Hi.
And your friendly neighborhood robot overlord, Vendertron.
Evening, everyone. Happy Friday.
I'm really happy to see you guys. I really missed you. This is the first time I'm saying this.
We
Totally.
missed you too. That is also the first time I'm saying this.
Yes, missed you guys
It's good
a
to be
lot.
back.
I'm really happy to be doing a podcast, and I'm really happy to be talking about games of the year. It's going to be amazing time. So, before we get rolling into this podcast, we like to start out the shows with a sort of a thank you time for people who've given us 5-star review on iTunes. That really does help our visibility as a podcast. It helps the show grow. It helps new listeners find us. And this week, we would like to say thank you to She Windy, who is my internet mom. She Windy says, I love this crew. Entertaining, informative, and no jackholes. Adults who like to play games and talk about them. Every episode is a love letter to gaming.
I love
Apparently
that.
She's never listened to an episode before.
She may be
every
talking about
episode.
another podcast, actually.
So we are our new slogan is Gamestack, your love letter to gaming.
Gamestack, no jackholes is what I was going to go with, but it's all the same.
Or that.
We would
you know.
also like to say thank you to Virtual Soldier for his 5-star review, or hers. I think it's a him, though, who says, I have been listening and watching Rick and Shalene since FOTR, and now they're reunited, and they have Vendertron with them. This is an awesome podcast. So, thank you guys for your kind words. We do appreciate that.
It is an awesome podcast.
It is an awesome podcast. Shwendy is also my internet mom.
She's fantastic. She's so
She can
snarky.
adopt us triplets.
I enjoy her. So today on the podcast, we're going to be skipping the news because we anticipate that our Game of the Year discussion is going to be rife with discussion and going to take quite a while. We're going to talk about the games we have been gaming. We have 3 weeks worth instead of the usual fortnight.
3.
We are going to award the Game Stack Awards, and we're going to talk about our most anticipated games of 2018. We have another giveaway, so we're going to be giving away some fabulous, fabulous games, and that's going to be our show for you today. So, Rick, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of Ark, surprisingly, and I do that because I built a boat, as we've seen in the last episode, or was it 2 episodes ago? It was two streams ago where we took that epic voyage of mediocrity, and that's what I should have named my vessel, Mediocrity. Anyway, that I don't think, actually that vessel is no longer with us. That got stuck and destroyed, but
Oh, really?
I've been playing. Yeah,
R.I.P. Oh, that's so sad.
A lot has changed. A lot has changed since you've been on.
It's been a couple
Yeah.
weeks. It's been a couple weeks since I visited.
So that boat was called what was it? The Watushi-wa?
Watusi.
That's right. It was called the Watusi, and then the next one I built was called the Watusi 2, but TOO. Anyway, so I've been playing a ton of Ark, and I built the Great Wall of Ragnarok. It's this massive wall around my island. Vendor, have you seen it yet?
No, I'm hoping to get out there tonight and take a look,
Okay.
though.
Our fellow players were quite impressed at the size and girth of this wall, and so anyway, going past that.
Well, who doesn't like a girthy wall?
So girthy.
Jeez. Anyhow, apparently, actually, it's kind
Did
of a
the
side
dinos
story.
pay for it, more importantly?
The Raptors did with their lives, yeah.
Well, the funniest part is that Rick's base is pretty much a desert.
Mm-hmm. And when I first settled there was nothing there. There were no animals. There was maybe a bird or two, and I was like, paradise. Nothing here. There was literally nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing there. There was just nothing there.
4 Mile in the chat says the wall is huge.
Yes. So I'm up at Vendor's base for like 2 days, and I decide to come back to mine. And when I get back to my base, there is just animals everywhere. There are things on my house, in my front yard, in my backyard. It's just everywhere. There's manta rays and bad things in the water. Like all of a sudden, just like animals everywhere.
That was really weird, because I think it might have been an update thing. Because
I think so too.
When you first started over there was nothing. You could swing a dead jerboa and not hit anything.
Well, there weren't any jerboas to swing, but now I've got 7. So,
are jerboas the cute little fox things that you have?
Yes.
You've
I've got
posted
7
some
of them now.
screenshots of those. They're adorable.
7. Oh my gosh. You're like the
they're
crazy jerboa lady.
Yes, that's exactly my point. And I built this wall around my base so I could let them wander around this big old island.
Oh.
So yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and it's funny because one of our players has come down to visit my side of the woods, side of the desert, and apparently it's a hard place to survive. I've just gotten used to it down there.
You've adapted.
I have adapted. I am wearing the desert armor. It keeps heat wicking, But so beyond that, I played a lot of Ark. I've also been playing, weirdly, surprisingly enough. I seem to kind of renege on everything that I say on this show. So I've been playing a ton of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I don't know why I keep going back to it. I realized the reason I thought the game sucked was just because I was frankly terrible at that game. And now that I've gotten better, it's pretty good. There's still a couple funky things with it that I get a little frustrated with at times, but it's pretty good. And beyond that, Witcher 3, as we saw in one of our streams, I've been playing that on my own as well.
So how are you liking it solo?
I was gonna say you're absolutely right, Shalene. That detective aspect of things, trying to figure out what it is that you're fighting and picking the proper potions and oils to combat them with has gotten to be a lot of fun. And I'm getting surprisingly more used to that combat. Rather than rolling away from things all the time, I'm alting. The little alt button is a dodge rather than a roll. I'm using that more to kind of set myself up to Counter-Strike easier. So it's a lot of fun. I'm still getting used to it, but it's a lot of fun. So I've been enjoying that, and I've gotten back into MTG again, and I'm fiddling a little bit with MTG Online. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully to stream that a little bit later.
Oh, excellent.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about that. I've never really gotten into that.
Magic?
MTG, it's Magic the Gathering? Is that...
Yeah, Magic
You've got to translate that for the rest of us.
Yes,
Sorry.
we don't speak in acronyms a lot of the time.
Well,
I do.
But nerds here. No, so MTG is a card game that was started in the 90s by Richard Garfield. Do you want the whole history? No, I'm kidding. And it's a card game. It's kind of what started Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all those other card games.
Oh, the father of trading cards.
It is the grandfather, as it were. So the concept is you build an army of monsters. You summon them, and you have spells that you can cast in between, some turns and stuff. And you have to fight the player, not the monsters. The monsters are there to protect the player, kind of thing, because you are a planeswalker, or the spellcaster rather. And so I play it with cards because I like collecting, and that's a bad disease to have. And so I play with the physical cards, but I just tried the digital version, and it's kind of weird. So I'm still not used to it yet. I was going to stream it the other night, but then I just realized I didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't.
Sometimes that can be the most fun type of stream, Rick.
Then maybe we'll do that on a Friday night.
I go into like every stream with no clue what I'm doing, and it's really fun. And the chat room is like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, so maybe we'll try that maybe next Friday or something like that. We'll watch me stumble through this interface of a game that I know how to play but can't use technology correctly. So it'll be interesting. But I've been playing the physical version of Magic the Gathering, and I play what's called a kitchen table, which is you can use any set from any era, any card, because there are banned cards and stuff like that in the standard rule set. There are like a myriad of rule sets, and I like to play kitchen table, and I have these decks that would not ever be allowed to be played anywhere else, and they're just ridiculous. So it's just among friends. But that's what I've been up to the last 3 weeks. What about you, Vendor?
Oh, all the Ark. Just Ark for days.
Yeah.
I have put in so much time on Ark, as I said that I would over the holiday break. I apologize to anybody who was patiently waiting for me to stream Ark. I'm still having issues getting my bot set up for my channel.
I miss your streaming.
Yeah, I'm trying to use this intense bot that requires me to code and stuff, but I have to learn how to code to be able to do that. So it's kind of delayed, which is a good thing because I don't have time to stream now. So, but I've been playing a lot of Ark. I have just looked on Steam on my profile. I played 98.4 hours in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Which is a hell of a lot of Ark. But as you know,
That's
Rick knows, Shalene knows, and you guys all know, we started the Ragnarok map, which is one of the newer maps that was just released this year. And so, yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Been doing a lot of building, and it's nice to be on a server that I have admin access to, because then we can just build wherever we want. There's not really any restrictions. So I actually built in this mine shaft that is on this island that is so cool. And we were able to turn off the collision, because Ark devs for some reason have this stupid collision thing on their maps where you can't place an item anywhere ever. So we turned
so much for having one of them on.
Yeah. So we turned off the collision so we could build a little bit more freely, and it's been nice. My character is starting to level up now. I'm in the 60s. I think I'm in my late 60s. So
is that how levels do? Do you age as you level up?
Oh, I wish. No, your
that
hair
would be
just
amazing
grows.
though. What if you like
You're like this old crickety man.
Exactly. You were like level 80 and you would be just a scrawny old man with a cane and flowing white beard. It would be incredible.
Somebody should make a mod for that.
I wish that Ark worked that way.
You're all geriatric by the time you're ready to explore the world. Yeah, no. So I
just like real life.
I'm almost at the point where I'm
way to bring this show down. Holy crap.
We're working out the door. What do they call them? The Walmart greeters. Oh man, gonna be a greeter in Ark.
Standing in front of the beacon.
Yeah, welcome to Crystal Cave. Yeah, so I've been just playing a lot of that, and I'm loving it. It's so funny how I can just pick up this game a year later and just hop right back into it like nothing ever changed. And I think the thing about it that I really like that has hooked me as a gamer is that if I'm building and I get tired of building, I'll just go out and explore
and die.
If I get tired of exploring, then I'll go and tame an animal or breed some dinos, or get into the lore of some of the stuff. But I think I noticed on this Ragnarok map that there's no explorer nodes.
I gotta also point out that you're kind of dressing up your playing there when you're like, I'll just go out and explore a bit, and you wouldn't believe how many times your name comes up red on the top of the screen. You're like, or I'll go out and tame something, and then you end up killing it with me because you've dropped me on a rock in front of scissor fingers.
Well,
this isn't all glamorous here, folks. This is a lot of like if you imagine the song Yakety Sax over some of our adventures.
That absolutely fits.
Yeah. It's
failing.
It's a lot of dying. It's intense survival. There's a lot of things that can kill you, from bugs to lizards to birds to fluffy cute things with claws.
Pretty much everything kills you on Ark.
Yeah, except the plants.
I wanted to put up a screenshot of us standing in a tent when you said it's intense survival.
It's intense.
It really can
survival. I see what you did there. That's good. Yeah.
I try.
Anyways, I've been playing. I started playing Teslagrad. Do you guys know what Teslagrad is?
It looks rad.
So it is a puzzle platformer game, 2D side scroller, and basically your player wields the power of electromagnetism. So you actually use like magnets to solve puzzles throughout the game, and you go through certain battles and stuff. The idea of the game is to learn the secrets of an abandoned Tesla tower. And so, yeah, I've been playing through that. The soundtrack is awesome. I love the soundtrack for the game. I actually started listening to it at work while I'm working away. And the art is really nice too. It's a pretty old game though. It's about how old is it now? It would be 6 years old, almost 6 years old.
Really?
Yeah, it came out December 2013.
That's surprising.
Yeah, but it's really good. I recommend that you guys check it out. You can pick it up on Steam for about $6, I think. But yeah, I enjoyed that. And then Rick gifted me some Steam monies, and with that, I bought LA Noire, which I have installed and I have been playing through all of the cases. It's so good. I forgot how good this game is, you guys. And you know what else I forgot? I forgot how good the animations on the facial expressions were.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this game, that's what it was known for, right? And when you play it, you look back, you see the graphics on some of the buildings and the cars and the people walking by, and it kind of gives the game away that it's been out for a few years. But when you get into these cinematics with other NPCs and characters, the facial expressions they almost look present day.
I thought
they look better than some present day. Compare that stuff to Mass Effect Andromeda.
You're absolutely
tired
right.
Faces.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I was thinking about with LA Noire, it felt like to me, and maybe it's just because I didn't dig into that game very much, let alone play it, but it felt like that game was just like saying, look how good our facial animations are, and nothing else really was going on in that game.
Well, that's literally what it is, because they wanted an award out of it, right?
It seems like it was too. I think that's why I never wanted to play it, because it just felt like a kind of like a display model almost, and not really so much of like a game.
You know,
but I did hear
Rockstar
that
did a lot of that back then. I feel like they tested out a lot of things with like Midnight Club Los Angeles and LA Noire and table tennis, and a lot of those mechanics were used when they were making GTA 5. I think they did a lot of experimentation.
Well, I just love going through the cases and listening to the people's stories and watching the cinematics. Mm-hmm. It's a really good game. If you haven't played it, guys, I recommend that you play it. It's an oldie but a goodie. I've also been playing some PUBG. What? Stumbled through the new update quite harshly, I might say. I actually had to reinstall the game, which was very frustrating. So I'm a little bit jaded now with PUBG. But I still play it. It's still a good game. I like playing it with people. I have only played it by myself a couple times, and I don't think I'll ever play it by myself.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't.
Yeah, it's not a game that I enjoy playing by myself. It's fun playing it with Shalene. If you've ever played it with Shalene, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, they've seen.
But yeah, and I actually had to uninstall it, and now I'm reinstalling it for the second time because I installed my new hard drive.
Woohoo! Congrats.
Yeah, so I got a 500 terabyte or a 500
I was
gigabyte.
gonna say, what?
Jeez.
Not.
I was gonna say that would keep cool with your weather up there.
You'd have
Tera? Quinta?
I
Quintabyte?
have no clue.
No, it's a 500 gigabyte solid state, so that will fit Arc and everything. So
it might just fit Arc. Arc is pretty big.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I've got Arc, I've got LA Noire on there, I've got Teslagrad on there. I'm installing PUBG on there, but I think that will. Oh, and I have Fallout 4. I just installed that last night, which I'm excited about as well. I'm going to start playing that Fallout 4 for PC, guys.
Ooh.
Never played it.
I'm really getting the Fallout yen again, guys. I really want to play Fallout.
Yeah.
I'm so sad. I'm going away for the weekend, and I wish that there was Fallout for Switch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just Skyrim.
I'm going to have to settle for Skyrim. For some Scrim.
I'm sure there's mods.
So what else have you been playing?
What, Shalene?
Go ahead, Vendor. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to segue into your gameplay. That was my segue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had interrupted you, and I was like, I'm sorry.
You ruined your own segue.
Okay,
you are
guys.
Don't go full Canadian on me, jeez.
Sorry. Jeez.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Eh?
So, guys, I've
so bad.
been like, I don't know if there's a word for it, but like the friend equivalent of an Arc Widow over the past little while. I lost my PUBG team. I lost them to Arc. I haven't been able to see my friends. They're just taming dinos, and
We
I
knew
tried.
this was coming.
I really
we
tried,
knew this
guys.
was coming out.
I really tried. I really tried. I spent about 14 hours, maybe 15 hours, playing Arc, but I don't love Arc the way that you guys love Arc, and that's okay.
We are sad about that, but yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
okay.
well, these gentlemen have played like 100 hours of Arc over the last couple weeks. I've been alone in my fortress of solitude.
I would like to point out that Steamer, our nefarious leader of Moose Team 4, says that he is still here for you, Shalene.
Thank you, Steam. Thank you. Hopefully we'll have a little PUBG time. Just and you can go back to Arc later, but like just a little PUBG, little PUBG.
I've only played 66 hours of Arc. Thank you very much.
Right.
Only 60.
Just
Yeah. Yeah, that's an amateurish 60 hours. Just entry level.
It's like
There's
just 5 complete games.
When I got into streaming, the guy that brought me onto his Arc server that introduced me to Arc had over 3,000 hours of Arc in.
Wow.
Jeez.
And
That's
that was over a
tremendous.
year ago. He probably has 4,000 or 5,000 hours in now. It's crazy.
I sort of feel like you have to put 3,000 hours in to love Arc. I feel
I
like
don't think so.
to get
Well, it depends. I feel like those people have played on all of the maps.
Mhm.
And I've heard Aberration is like out of this world crazy good. But anyways, enough about Arc. Let's talk about your gameplay.
So I just wanted to mention that. And I played Thimbleweed Park in its entirety. And Thimbleweed Park, for those who are not familiar with it, is a point-and-click adventure game in the style of some of the old like LucasArts games, like from the 90s. It's very old school. It's very fun. There are a lot of nods to some of the old style of adventure games. And so this game, it has 2 modes, right? And it has hardcore mode and it has casual mode. And I played the game on hardcore mode, which basically means traditional adventure game with silly, sometimes unreasonable puzzles. And so I like achievements, right? You guys know this about me.
Of course.
And there's an achievement for finishing the game hardcore and an achievement for finishing the game casual. And typically these achievements stack. In the case of Thimbleweed Park, they don't stack. And I was greatly distressed upon finishing Thimbleweed Park to realize I did not have the achievement for finishing the game on casual mode. So I had to go through it again, and it only took like an hour and a half or so to do casual mode, compared to my hardcore run through, which was about 18 hours, maybe. Ooh. And I've got to say, guys, if you go out and check out Thimbleweed Park, do not play it on casual mode. If I had played casual mode first, I would have thought this is not a very good video game.
Oh, really?
They leave a lot out. Whole sections of map are just not there. They're large story sections that are not there. It's I don't understand. I don't understand why they did this. Why they would curtail the game so severely. I feel like there would have been ways to make it more accessible without just slashing that content. But Thimbleweed Park is great, guys. It's sort of a mystery story, a mystery within a mystery. Gets kind of meta. You play as a couple of FBI agents. They've got sort of a Mulder and Scully thing going on.
Oh.
And also you play as a young aspiring game developer and a profane, just awful clown. And it's really good.
I'll
it's
never
really
play it.
good. Oh, it's so good, Vindertron. It's got this great pixel art style. Oh, it's really good. I greatly enjoyed Thimbleweed Park, and I highly, highly recommend it. Really enjoyed that game.
You had me at clown. Or shall I say you didn't have me at clown?
It's actually really funny. There's one section in which one of the agents goes to talk to the clown and can't look him in the face. He has to turn around. And you go through the whole dialogue tree and the guy's got his back to the clown.
That's totally what I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. So funny. But
Do you have clown phobia vendor?
And dolls and spiders.
Dolls I get.
Dolls are creepy, man.
Very.
Yeah.
My niece got a doll from my grandma for Christmas this year. And it was like the reactions in the room were very mixed because there's a lot of people in my family that feel the same way about dolls. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to go get some more sausage. And
That's
cheese.
really funny. So I checked out another game in addition to Thimbleweed Park. I played a very special game called Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, this is a game that I played because I kept seeing it pop up on people's Game of the Year lists. And I didn't know much about this game going in. But people just kept saying, the less you know, the better. Play this game. Stick it out. It's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing experience. You have to play this game. So I boot up Doki Doki Literature Club. It's free on Steam, free to install. And I install it. It looks like an anime dating sim, right? And I'm like, okay. Mystic Messenger was a dating sim, and I really liked that. It also told a great story. So maybe I'll like this, even though dating sims are not really my typical fare. And I boot up the game, and the first screen that I see is a warning that says people with anxiety and severe depression should maybe not experience this game. And I think, oh, that's unexpected. Wow. So I click on through that warning and I start the game. And I don't want to say too much because it is something you should experience for yourself. But I will say that maybe, my friends, you should take that warning seriously because this game left me messed up. I don't know. Should I go into the spoiler territory or should I not?
No, because I've yet to play it.
Okay. So after you play it, we should have a spoiler section in which we can discuss what happens in Doki Doki Literature Club.
Let's do it.
I will say that I was like so compelled by this game that I could not stop playing it. You guys were all playing Ark and I wanted to hang out with you. This was before I had really decided that I did not like Ark, but I had to finish Doki Doki. I had to finish. I couldn't go to bed without finishing.
You were just like, I don't know how to feel now.
Yeah. And I finished Doki Doki. And guys, I was like, I just can't describe the feelings that I had. It was a very, very impactful game in many ways. So
okay, how much is this game
it's
on
free.
Steam?
It's free.
She just said that.
$0.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, Doki Doki
Literature Club.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like so anime though.
It is super anime.
Oh, I don't know if I can get past that.
Try it.
You have to power through about 45 minutes of super anime.
And it's
But I recommend it.
Wow, it's like a game show.
I really do recommend it. So, Doki Doki Literature Club. I started playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp again.
No.
Yeah, I had quit playing Pocket Camp because it's not a very good video game.
I thought you loved that game.
I do love that game. It's so adorable, but I can acknowledge that it's not a very good video game while also being totally charmed by these cute little animals and their tiny little furniture and they're little tiny. There's these little bushes now, Rick. These little bushes, and they grow flowers, and little butterflies are attracted to the flowers, and you catch the butterflies, and you can share them with your friends.
Should be called Polly Pocket.
It's so cute. It's so cute, and I have been enjoying that. So you can actually find, I think, my friend code on Twitter if you would like, and join me in some Animal Crossing Pocket Camp shenanigans. So
Is Archon still playing?
Archon is still playing, I believe. I see him on there pretty regularly. I'm sorry, that was some bad
He
grammar.
probably has all the pockets.
He is amazing. Archon is a machine. I don't think he's here with us in the chat today, but Archon is amazing.
Archon is the gamer that I know that has beat all the games of every game, all the things in every game. Just
His
beat them all.
mastery of games is really something. He puts in time. That guy puts in time.
Could you
He's
imagine
dedicated.
Archon and Tao doing a podcast together?
Right?
I think
It
we
would
should
just
make
be,
that
it would
happen.
be like 6 hours. Each show would be 6 hours
Wow.
long of the intricacies of the
Well, the episode would look forward to is the episode just entitled Archon and Tao Disagree. And it'd be like 12 hours long. Because I love those two guys to death.
Well, they can do all of our charity streams.
They're amazing. They're so amazing. I do.
They are. They're like a Wikipedia.
But you know, we need to have Archon on the show sometime. We do.
We do.
Here we are
yeah.
planning the show on the show, but we've had Tao, we've had Jess, and we need to have Archon. It would be good times. So
I believe that we are without all of our mods this evening.
yes, we are modless. We are flying.
I feel
without,
so naked.
We don't
get rid of
have our sturdy bulwark
That's it. You're all fired. All of you.
against the
What the heck?
trolls. Yeah.
Dang.
Captain Bones, you've been promoted.
Times they are changing.
We do have some unfamiliar faces in here. I wanted to shout out Cheez-Its on Rye, who I don't recognize. Welcome to the
Best
stream.
username ever.
And
Yeah.
also Wyndham, who just joined us. Hello. Nice to see you.
And him.
So thanks for joining us. And that's all I've really been playing, guys. This last week, I've just been playing the game of life. The game of life. It's been...
Yeah.
it's
That
been
in
a
itself
week.
is a whole episode of Life is Strange.
Ooh, life is indeed strange. Goodness. I made some dialogue choices. I'm not sure about them. I'd like to go back on an old save.
Oh, it's good.
Oh man.
So, 2017 was a thing that happened, you guys. 2017
Apparently
happened.
so.
That was both the worst and the best year of my life.
It was like 12 days ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? 2017 was full of video games. So
It sure
let's talk
was.
about them. Let's talk about them.
It was a heck of a year for
Wasn't
video
it?
games, honestly.
Crazy.
And that kind of leads us to. Do you want to make mention before we get moving? We did have a challenge 3 weeks ago. We'll get to that next week, just because of.
Oh, I'm
everything.
sorry. I totally skipped over that. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we had planned to do a challenge this evening, but we decided to forego that because we're doing another Gamestack giveaway, which we'll get to later on this evening.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make sure that the people who win this evening can also partake in the challenge.
Indeed.
Yes. And before that, because that's going to take up a while too. So before that, we have the 2017.
Oh, okay. Wyndham is my internet mom. Wendy. We love her.
Oh, Shwendi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
We totally
girl.
shouted out your 5-star review at the beginning of the show. So I'll have to check
Fashionably late.
I feel like I got to start my bit over.
I'm
But
sorry,
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah.
I didn't recognize Wyndham in the chat. So
Do you want a drum roll?
no, Shalene, just type. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Oh, that was a zinger.
Since there were a ton of games that have come out in 2017, we figured we'd be pretty smart about this and be the first and ever only media platform to have some sort of award for games that did really well in certain categories. Nobody's ever done this before.
Yeah,
So we
totally
have our
novel.
2000
Innovative.
Totally
Yeah,
innovative.
we have our 2017 Stack Awards, and we have some categories picked out. And we also asked you guys, the listeners / viewers, to spout out some of your own categories that you thought would be interesting. And what we're going to go do is each one of us is going to give a nominee, then we're going to pick the winner. And it's completely fair, all of this. So the first category we have is the game with the best narrative. And Vendertron, what is your nominee?
My nomination for the best narrative of the 2017 Stack Awards goes to Life is Strange.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's a good nominee. That's a very good nominee.
That's a good nominee. What's your reasoning behind that?
So this game really took me by surprise, you guys. And I blame Shalene. I wasn't around. I wasn't around for the first episode of Life is Strange, but we had streamed it together. We followed along through episode 2, and I got hooked on the storyline. And I really enjoyed the narrative that was in that game. I thought that the developers did a really great job.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's my choice.
Shalene, what's your nomination?
You go first.
Me? Okay.
Please.
She must be still picking up. My game nomination for the best narrative is Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a game that I played late in 2017, but the fact that it takes place in this post-apocalyptic world where everything that was known is lore, whereas like Fallout, it's kind of like half known, i.e. the Rivet City Museum kind of got a few things wrong. But in Horizon, everything's lost to lore and it's not known, and everything's like, AI is considered a god because they just have no idea what AI is anymore. And I haven't beat the game yet, so I still don't know a lot of these origins, and I still don't really know what happened. So I'm excited to play through this. But so far, it has me. I've been the most intrigued about this story than I have anything else in 2017.
Awesome.
So Shalene,
I'm also gonna go with Horizon, and I feel a little unfair to nominate this because I haven't played that much of it yet. I'm maybe 10 hours in, but it's still the game with the most compelling story, and the characters and the side quests, they feel so fleshed out. It feels. I really like the writing in Horizon. I like the world building. I like the writing. I think I'm also going to have to nominate Horizon.
I probably would have said the same had I played it, had I actually played it. But I feel I'm doing a little bit of an injustice if I chose it and did not play it. So
Gotcha. So now that we have our nominees, it's time to pick a winner. And out of our nominees, Life is Strange and 2 votes for Horizon, the winner is PUBG. That is the winner for the best narrative of PUBG, with the lore behind the shrinking blue terror curtain. So the next category,
PUBG.
Best art. So Vendor, what is your nominee for best art?
My nomination for best art goes to Cuphead.
Okay. I don't think we need any reasons why. I think
that one is pretty self-explanatory. If anybody is unfamiliar with the Cuphead game that just released not too long ago, the creators and content creators of the game drew everything by hand.
Yes.
It is amazing.
That game is very brilliant. I still don't have it yet. It's on it's on my list to get. I will definitely play that. So, Shalene, nominee.
I'm actually going to go with Alwa's Awakening. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this game at all, but I really enjoyed Alwa's Awakening. It's an 8-bit, sort of a Nintendo throwback game. You can get it on Steam for like $6 or $7. It's an incredible game. It's very, very good. And it's got an 8-bit art style, but they've done some really, really interesting things in terms of palette choices, and the little sprites are really well done. I'm very, very impressed with Alwa's Awakening. I was taken with that game in the beginning of 2017. I was very taken with it.
Oh,
so
great.
As wonderful and special as Cuphead is, I want Alwa's Awakening to have a bit of recognition.
Did you say Alwa's Awakening?
Alwa's Awakening. ALWA apostrophe S.
Yeah, like Alwa. Check your battery. Oh, wait, no, that's Alma. Never mind. Sorry. Moving along.
So, my nominee for best art in a game is also Cuphead, just because I am a fan of Steamboat Willie type, animation. So Cuphead spoke to me greatly with the art and also the audio. So yes, that is my nomination. Again, needs no explanations. If we know what Cuphead is remotely, we all understand the gravity of that art design. So we have 2 nominations for Cuphead, and we have 1 nomination for Alwa's Awakened, or Alwa Awakening, whatever it was.
Right.
What was it? Alwa Awakening?
Alwa's Awakening.
Alwa's Awakening. They could have picked a better title. But our winner for 2017 Best Art is PUBG again, with the stock unreal buildings that are cut and cookie cut everywhere is beautiful. The artwork,
the floating bottles.
The
is
houses without stairs is
And the house,
just-
the
That
ones that appear
glitch where
around
you spawn inside your own
Yes.
skull.
It's
Yep.
just beautiful art, and I don't think it has anything to
Nothing
compromise.
else can
So,
compare.
the not so square bales.
oh, of course, yes, exactly. I mean, it's just so over the top gorgeous. But we're gonna move on because we have a ton of categories to get through, and we're gonna get into 2017 best music. Vendor nominee. Yeah.
Ooh,
this is a tough one.
This was a very, very tough one, Rick. And I feel like you might criticize me for choosing this. I'm not sure. But my nomination for the 2017 Best Music category goes to Cuphead. And I chose this morning, last minute. And I actually sat through and listened to the entire soundtrack of Cuphead as I was working this morning, which consists of about 50 different tracks, might I add, which is fantastic. But the reason I chose Cuphead is because every other game soundtrack that was developed this year, well, I don't want to generalize and say every other game soundtrack, but the majority of other game soundtracks developed for new games released this year is mostly electronically produced.
Mm-hmm.
But when we listen to the Cuphead soundtrack, that is all big band.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked into the soundtrack for that. They did release that on vinyl, so that's like points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to look into how they really did that. I really don't know. But that is a good pick. That is a very, very good pick.
It is all brass. It's all brass. And piano. It's awesome. Anyways, that's my choice.
Awesome. Shalene, what is your nominee?
So I was also inclined to nominate Cuphead, but in the end, I am instead going to go with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yes,
that was my
solely
second
on the
choice.
basis of the Valraven theme. That song.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Sometimes I'm just like chilling in my life, just eating some beef jerky, and I hear the Valraven theme. Just I'll think about it in the middle of my day, and it's so impactful. The music from Hellblade was really well done. So that's
Fantastic.
my nomination.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a contender for me. That was the first thing that popped in my head when I thought about this. But then I thought a little harder, and I came up with Wolfenstein 2. Now I got to admit, the music is not very original or well thought out, but that is not why I picked it for this category. The reason I picked it for this category is simply because of how the music made me feel when combined with the gameplay.
That matters.
It made me, oh my goodness, like there were moments where like something happened and then the music started to pump and you're like, let's kill all the Nazis, and it just like it gave me this emotion that I was like, screw stealth, double wheeled shotguns that are fully automatic, yes please. So that's why I picked that as my nominee. Not that the music is really any good, it's just the way that it made me feel in conjunction with the storytelling, which also has a very good narrative, by the way. But so we've got a nominee for Cuphead, we have a nominee for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and we have a nominee for Wolfenstein. In this case, we don't have a winner based on strict, 2 votes versus 1. So we've got to go with PUBG as having the best music in 2017. The lobby music, they picked it wisely. It's only one place at one time, and it's just in the lobby, and it's just
you
great.
guys are forgetting the most important soundtrack of all PUBG, and that is
so that goes to you did that so well. It even went in and out, it cut, it's just
I think I broke Shalene.
You did. Broke the
Pull
fourth.
it together, you guys. Gosh.
All right. All right. It's time to get serious now. So it's time to get serious. Speaking of great audio, it is time to pick the game that has the best audio for 2017. And Vendertron, please give us your nominee.
All right, guys. So this was very tough because the category preceding this was music, and so the two are quite closely related, but not not entirely. My choice, my nomination for Best Audio of the 2017 Gamestack Awards is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Ooh.
And I don't think this game needs any sort of introduction this evening, but it is pretty self-explanatory that the audio in this game is simply superb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I
Celine.
also vote for Hellblade. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The audio work that was done in this game was sublime. I'm not the kind of girl who notices excellent audio, and I noticed this. I was like maybe 2 minutes into the game, and I thought, I have to show this to Rick. It's something special. It really is.
And I'm glad that you did, because tonight, this is the first category of tonight. We have a threesome here where I also picked Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice for best audio, because the game tells you it is best with headphones, and it is exactly that, best for headphones. And since this is the first category, we've had all of us pick the same game. The obvious winner goes to Plain Roll Please, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, for that amazing plane, the Molotovs that just light you on fire as you're still going through the air.
As you take a bullet.
Or when you don't take a bullet.
Footsteps, and you can't tell if the footsteps are nearby or far away.
Clodhoppers.
They may
Or
be in the
barefoot,
next house or
shoes.
in your house.
Yeah, I mean,
The sound of a bullet pinging off the frying pan.
Is best when when the bullet is from your own teammate. Honestly, let's just be honest. It is. So now that we have that over, and that was unanimous for all of us, we're gonna go to best acting of 2017. Vendor nominee.
Best acting nomination, without a doubt, Senua's Sacrifice.
Good choice. Good choice.
And I don't even need to explain myself. Just play the game.
Yes, I agree with that. Oh, not that that's my nominee, but I agree with that. So, Shalene.
My nominee is also going to be for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Ooh.
And I will say, it's funny, there aren't a ton of characters in Hellblade, but Senua herself is so beautifully acted by Melina Juergens, and she deserves all the props. It was an incredible journey, that game, and if you haven't played it, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's available on PlayStation 4 and PC. I think it's about $30, so
it is definitely cheap, as it's an indie game, which is surprising when you see it, and when you play it, it doesn't feel like an indie game. It has weight like a AAA, which
I think
most AAAs don't have weight anymore.
And I think one of the things that motivated the price of the game is how short it is.
right.
But see, the thing is, they got in, they got out, they didn't do a lot of hubbub.
And they won a hell of amount of awards, so good on them.
And they're being nominated all over the board on our Gamestack awards here. My nominee was a little bit different. I was thinking more along the lines of voice acting. I don't really know if mocap actors were really involved with this game. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. But my nominee for best acting goes to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I just, those beginning moments of that family were ridiculous. They were absolutely terrifying to me, and just like off the wall insane, with just the stabbing of the hand and cutting it off, and just the voice acting was kind of what I was getting at with that. The voice acting in that is just brilliant, and I think that game for me was a surprise in how well Capcom did with how just awful, and I'm saying awful because bad awful, the other games have been, like 5 and 6, and the subsequent games like Raccoon City. So that's my nominee. So we've got 2 votes for Hellblade. Again, this is not the first time this has happened tonight, and 1 vote for Resident Evil. But again, we're gonna have to go with PUBG on this, because those guys get shot, downed, picked up, and they're right back in the game. And once they're knocked out, they start another game. They just keep on going, and they don't stop. Take that, Keanu Reeves. Let's see you do that in Jack Reacher, whatever that movie is. So, with that being said,
Speaking of bullets.
What?
Speaking of bullets, let's move on to our next category.
That's what I was about to do.
That was a good one, guys.
Best shooter of 2017. And I think we know which all of our nominees is going to be. Vendertron, your nominee for John Wick.
My nomination for best shooter actually goes to Wolfenstein 2: Colossus. And not because of the shooting mechanics or the guns or the bullets that are in the game, but what the player is shooting at. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you,
All
folks.
right.
I think we can all get behind that nomination, Bendertron. I think we can. So, guys, I didn't play a ton of shooters this year. I didn't. I usually like myself a good shooter. But looking through my list here, which happens to be written on actual paper because that's how I roll. Looking through my list of games that I played this year, I didn't play a ton of shooters. Does Uncharted Lost Legacy count as a shooter? There's
That
some
could count,
third-person
yeah.
shooting. I did enjoy some of the shooting in that game. I'm gonna have to nominate PUBG actually for this one.
Really?
The actual shooting in PUBG may not be the best, but it is the shooter that I played this year. It's the shooter that I played because I can't justify that Uncharted is a shooter. It's just not. It's an action game.
I gotta say too that game did sneak in at the last moment when they went live.
Yeah.
In 2017.
Yeah.
My nominee for best shooter is actually also Wolfenstein 2, again for the same reason of kind of what you were shooting at, and also of all the new games that have come out that are kind of quasi shooters, like you said, Nathan Drake's Uncharted is kind of a quasi shooter.
Yeah, and I played it as a stealth game, The Lost Legacy. I played it like 90% in stealth mode. So
yeah, Ghost Recon's also kind of like that stealth thing. It's not just a run and gun. Wolfenstein harkens back to those run and gun games where you just didn't have to worry about ammo. And that's kind of why I chose that to be my best shooter. So we've got 2 for Wolfenstein, 1 for PUBG, and weirdly enough, kind of takes the fire out of this bit. PUBG wins this as best shooter because even when you're aiming at your target or when you're not, you never know if you're going to hit it. And sometimes
can't even
you do.
tell. Can't even tell if you're gonna. Yeah, it doesn't matter where your reticle is.
And just like Shalene says, you can't tell if it's an enemy or a friendly. Shoot him anyway. So the next category, best open world 2017 vendor nominee.
Okay, guys. Best open world nomination goes to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh,
Interesting.
And I haven't
that
had the
is
chance.
Understandable.
I haven't had the chance to play this game yet. But I have seen the gameplay and I have seen the screenshots and I have seen the open world and I know what it is like. And yes, it absolutely unequivocally goes to Horizon Zero Dawn, as it should have in the Real Game Awards.
Yeah, that was a very beautiful open world as someone who has played it. Shalene, nominee.
Okay, guys, there's only one answer for this, and that answer is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
I knew it.
The open world in this game is something really special. There is so much to do, so many characters, so many Korok seeds to find, mushroom soup to cook. And it's got that thing, that very special open world thing that we've always talked about, especially in terms of Fallout, where it's not about the story the game tells you, it's about the stories that you tell on your own. It's about the time that you snuck into the castle when you had a torch and like 4 arrows and came out with all this amazing gear, and it took you 3 hours and you're running naked down the pasture just away from all these being pursued by guardians that are shooting at you with space lasers. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is a very special open world game, and it checks all those Bethesda boxes for me in terms of what I want from an open world game. And gosh, I'm gonna stop the podcast right now and go play Breath of the Wild.
I actually also agree with you, Shalene. The best open world for me for 2017 is Zelda as well. I have seen it played a lot. I've watched my wife play it on the Switch. And there may not be stuff happening in every square mile of that open map, but it gives you that kind of like what Fallout does. Like there's points where there's just kind of nothingness, and it gives you this like feeling of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes encounters that much more kind of important. And I've heard a lot of people criticize the game because like it's just too open, shrink it a bit. The problem, feels too cluttered. And if you have that open space, it allows a lot of times games don't have dynamics. It's always up or always down. Games where this game was boring or that game was too fun, but like this game seems to have moments in between where, yeah, sometimes you feel bored, but that just makes the moments where you have action feel more impactful. So yeah, my nominee is Zelda. Shalene's nominee is Zelda. Vendertron's is wrong, and so we are going to go with PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, as our winner of this year's open world, because that is one of the only open world games that doesn't have random generation. Everything is just cookie cutter laid out. It's always the same every time.
The wide open world of Erangel you can go to Pachinki.
You can go everywhere.
You can go to the school.
Everything. Yep.
The H houses.
The H houses, the Harry Potter houses. So that is the winner of our open world. So we're going to move on. We've only got 2 categories left until we get to your choices. Dear listeners, we have on our docket Best Puzzle Game of 2017. I think I know what Shalene's is, but Vendor, yours first.
My nomination for Best Puzzles goes to Prey.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like this game is a little bit of an underdog this year.
I think so.
It did really well out of the gates. It had a lot of popularity, and the puzzles in the game were really great. So I think it should be acknowledged.
Okay. Shalene, your nomination.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Ooh, okay.
The Uncharted games tend to not have the most puzzly of puzzles, but this game was different. The puzzles in Uncharted Lost Legacy were really good. They were interesting, they were compelling in terms of the story, and they were fun puzzles to solve. Challenging, fun puzzles to solve. So I liked Uncharted Lost Legacy.
My nominee for this was actually Doki Doki. Yeah, just because of the absurdity of Doki Doki and some of the puzzles that I've heard about already. It reminds me of, there was a game, I'm trying to remember what it was, but there was a game for the GameCube. I think it was like Eternal Timeless something, and the game literally messed with you, like the player. It didn't just mess with your character in the game, it messed with you as a player and made you think something was wrong with the game. So that's why Doki Doki is kind of my my puzzle of the year, even though I haven't played it yet. We'll just kind of slide into that. But I believe our winner for this is PUBG.
There it is.
It is puzzling to me how you can shoot someone in the head and they don't freaking die. So, gotta do. We're gonna move on to the next category because that game puzzles the hell out of me. The best tie-in. What is the best tie-in? I gotta say, I'm gonna take this one first. I didn't have a nominee for this because I couldn't think of anything. So did you?
You know what? This was really tough, you guys. This was a really tough category, and the only thing that I could come up with, and I regret to say it, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay, I'll go with that one.
Okay, you guys are both wrong. It was the Stranger Things mobile game.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Both of those are very good. I think I'm gonna have to give Star Wars Battlefront 2 that nomination though for me.
Yeah, I haven't even played it, but it was the only tie-in that I could think of.
I haven't played it either. Honestly,
I wasn't thinking meta tie-ins, Shalene.
And I wouldn't say that's necessarily a tie-in. That's more of a continuation. So
it's an iteration. It's an iteration of a different game. Yeah, I was thinking movies. No, I was like, okay, Harry Potter. No, that's been out for like 10 years.
Captain Bones nominates Batman: The Telltale series.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah, in which case I would consider changing my nomination to Walking Dead: A New Frontier, which was pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys realize we have dropped the ball completely on this category? In that vein, we have to give the winner PUBG for the best tie-in because that game directly relates to H1Z1, which was the granddaddy of all zombie survival.
And don't forget that white dress shirt you can get that has the tie on it. The tie,
mm-hmm.
The tie is in the game.
Into the game, yeah.
Ties, exactly. Literally ties it in.
It's looking like PUBG is just sweeping the board here with all these winners. But before we get to the game of the year, we are going to actually get to some of you listeners. We asked on Facebook.
Let's do this one.
I missed that one. I missed that one. Thank you very much, Celine. Biggest surprise, Vendor. What's your nominee?
Oh man. My nomination for biggest surprise, which is probably comes as no surprise to you lovely listeners and Rick and Shalene, and that is Ark.
That wasn't released this year, was it?
Yes, it was.
It was.
Oh,
It came out of early access in August. But the reason I chose this as the biggest surprise was because they have built in more video game in Ark than any other game released this year. If you think about it, the content and the quality of the content that they put out, they put 2 brand new maps out, which are basically 2 new games.
That's true.
Built on the same engine, albeit, but it was
GTA's been doing that for
it
years,
was a big
so.
it was a big surprise for me. I never thought that they would put out as much content as they did this year. I can't even keep up with it. I'm still on the old map.
That's true.
So that is my biggest surprise.
And Shalene, your nominee for biggest surprise of 2017.
Doki Doki Literature Club. Oh boy, was that game a surprise. I'm still in recovery, you guys. I can't sleep at night sometimes.
I would like to point out that a lot of people in the chat have been talking about Assassin's Creed Origins, which none of us has
No.
nominated.
I'm surprised Shalene hasn't.
It's
I mean,
really
if we
good
had
video
like a category
game.
for
It's
the
a
best
really
pets
good
or
video
best
game.
petting.
Yeah, if we had one for the most charming protagonist, I think that one would go to Bayek of Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay.
To the most charming fella in video games.
Well, we know where Shalene stands on that one. My biggest surprise this year happened to be, weirdly enough, Ghost Recon Wildlands. As much as that game frustrates the hell out of me, I keep playing it, and I don't know why. And that to me is a surprise. I was not expecting that. I was not going to buy that game at all after playing it for free a few times. And I just keep going back to it and going back to it. And speaking of...
So, Vendor, you're just hammering away on the keyboard there.
Sorry guys.
And I mentioned it because you always get on to me about this, so...
Yes, you're absolutely right. I am fully guilty of that. I apologize. I'm just trying to be our resident scribe this evening.
But games that, you know, that's why it's surprising, because we keep returning to it. And the winner of this category happens to be a game that we keep returning to. And that winner is, hands down, PUBG was the biggest surprise of 2000.
Oh,
Yes.
And
Actually,
let's actually
kind of what.
Yes, let's be honest. Let's be real here. I mean, I didn't realize how long and drawn out this bit was going to go. But sticking with it to the end is kind of our thing.
PUBG.
That game literally was a surprise for 2017 because it was this stupid cookie cutter game where they just dragged and dropped stock elements into this thing. It was built on old tech. It just nothing new, and everyone's playing the stupid thing.
It was really a surprise how much I loved it.
I can't believe how much you two love that game. You guys were super skeptical, and I was like convincing you to get it. So
I think it was a surprise to the gaming industry as well.
I think so too.
People
It was
are
a
like, "Oh my
surprise
god,
when
we're
I
not
won
going to
the
make enough
chicken
money
dinner."
this year."
EA is emailing Bluehole in Player Unknown saying, "Why don't you guys charge for loot crates all the time?" And so, yeah, man, honestly, that kind of is a big surprise for 2017. But thank you, Shalene, for pointing that out to me. I would have skipped right over that. But we're going to go to you, the listeners. And on Facebook, we asked to give some of your categories that you would like to see in our Game of the Year wrap-up. And I'll pick a couple out. James Robertson suggests RPG, the best RPG of 2017. Do you guys have any nominations for that? or any
Give me a
suggestions?
second here. Let me just scroll.
Bender?
RPG.
Excuse me. Yeah, RPGs of 2017. You know, it's weird. The RPG arena is actually kind of getting a little, I think, diluted in the sense that the challenge is not there so much anymore. I know Xenoblade Chronicles released this year. That was a big one. And, you know, weirdly enough, people think that, you know, games like Shadow of War or, you know, stuff like that's an RPG, or even Zelda could be considered a role-playing game at this point. But
Maybe
honestly, I
a
couldn't think
little?
of anything.
The only
again?
RPG that I played this year was Mass Effect Andromeda, which I didn't play a ton of.
And that's
so-
kind of
Would
like
you
an
would you
action
say that Hellblade is
Not
an
at all.
RPG?
Not even a little bit.
No, you
Not
don't
even a
level
little
up.
bit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I honestly don't.
The important thing in terms of RPG is that you're role playing a character. You build a character.
Yeah.
So
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I was curious to see if you games that
Yeah, I didn't really play any RPGs this year.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's see here. Game with the best choices. I thought that was interesting.
Ooh,
The game
that's a
with the
good
best
one.
choices.
The best. What do we mean by best choices?
In my head, I'm thinking of like choices that affect the game inherently.
Of course, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna go with Life is Strange Before the Storm.
The hard part about
I would agree with Shalene on that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
On that.
I kind of have a hard time with this category because you just don't know what it changes until you play the game again and make different choices. But I would have to agree with you guys. Life is Strange definitely seems to have the most effective choices. As we all know, Andromeda didn't. I
need to go back and finish that.
That game really snuffed out.
Kind of missed my Clown Shoes character.
I did finish that game. It was worth playing through, but I'm still surprised that EA just kind of put the kibosh on that whole thing. Really.
It did not meet the hype.
So, no, it did not meet the hype. Brian Davis on Facebook suggests best DLC of 2017. I think this one's going to be a bit more tougher to figure out.
Give me some time here.
I'm not coming up with anything in my head that actually, you know what? Honestly, everyone's gonna hate this. PUBG's new map, even though that wasn't really DLC, it added a lot to the. Honestly, I haven't bought DLC this year, so I'm kind of drawing a blank with this one.
I have yet to play Aberration, but if I did, that would probably be my vote.
So we're going with probablys at this point.
Give me time. Yeah. Give me time. I'm still looking. Talk amongst yourselves.
All
Talk
right.
amongst yourselves.
Bree in the chat says if DLC counts as far as choices go, I would say Final Fantasy's Roman numeral 12. What is that, 12?
FFXV. They really need to learn how to spell better.
Come on, just use numbers, for God's sakes. Use numbers.
Vault Dweller and Captain Bones are saying GTA DLC. And yeah, I can see that. I can see exactly where they're coming from with that. Because no matter what, that game puts out DLC and everyone's into it in 5
Everyone loses their minds. I feel like GTA is is sort of the Call of Duty of racing games. You know what I mean?
GTA's not
I guess I didn't
game.
play a ton of DLC,
as far
you
as
guys.
car games goes, you know.
I don't think I have anything for DLC.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm looking through my entire list here, and I guess I'm gonna have to go with Miramar. Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know, right?
Somebody else. Yes, I got nothing.
Somebody else in the game in the Facebook chain says best multiplayer game, but I don't think we need to really talk about that. It would either be for us three. It would either be between Ark or PUBG. Because let's be honest, Destiny 2 was kind of a joke. Battlefield 2, as much fun as it is to play, I have to admit, is kind of a joke. Call of Duty's multiplayer was a lot of fun, but easily old and repetitive. So I haven't played a racing game in this era. I haven't played a racing game since Gran Turismo 4, honestly.
Mario Kart 8 is pretty fun.
That is a lot of fun. I did play that multiplayer. That is a lot of fun. I hate blue shells.
We need to swap friend codes, buddy.
We do.
By the way, you've been invited onto ASA Podcarding. So we can talk about that after the show.
I'm glad that we could all have
a
chance to watch me fail horribly at that game on live TV. Anyway, the last user picked category, and I thought this was amazing because I don't think we have to give any nominees. There's only one answer for this. Best games with no microtransactions. There is no winner for that.
To unlock this category, please pay $1.99.
Oh gosh.
So now that the bit's over, if you haven't figured it out now, we'll break the fourth wall. Our nominations were kind of our picks for all those categories, but Game of the Year still kind of is hanging out there, like a sore thumb or a wart on a toe. And what is everyone's game of the year pick? We'll start with Vendor. Whoa! Papers are flying.
Game of the year. Game of the year nomination goes to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, not because it's a video game, but because it broke out of video games in the sense that the developers created it to address mental health and mental wellness. And very few video games in the history of video games has ever achieved that. So,
very true. That's big, man. An indie game for your pick, a game of the year. That's pretty crazy. Shalene, what's your game of the year?
You guys, I am so torn. I've spent like a month trying to make this decision for what will be my game of the year for 2017. And I am torn between The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, which I loved. I sunk like over 100 hours into that game. I played it all the time, obsessively, couldn't stop talking about it. And the other contender is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which I did complete. I played it all the way through. I think I was only missing 2 or 3 of the lore stones that stood between me and the Platinum Trophy. And I really loved Hellblade. I spent a lot of time with it. I found a lot to love in Hellblade. And I think about that game so often. It keeps returning to my mind. And I'm so torn between those 2 games that I loved so much this year. But I think I'm, in the end, going to have to go with Hellblade. Because while as much as I love Zelda, there are a lot of things that the game gets wrong that other games have gotten right for a long time now. And I think it's just a matter of Nintendo being new to this type of game, sort of. There are a lot of problems there that have been solved in other games that we sort of tend to give Nintendo a pass on because, oh my goodness, look at this amazing thing from Nintendo. But I feel like nominating Zelda for Game of the Year is sort of like nominating a last-gen game for Game of the Year. And as much as I adore the game, I'm going to go with Hellblade.
The weird thing is the winner of the Gamestack Awards 2017 is actually Horizon, because that's my pick. Or not Horizon, sorry, Hellblade.
Oh, I was like,
oh,
no.
So that's how it is now.
I was actually trying to be poignant.
Next year, I'm hosting.
I was actually trying to be poignant with this, that my game of the year is actually also Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, because the depth that game went to get the audio mix correct, the art correct, and as good as the graphics were for an indie game, the combat, if you suck at that game, you just generally suck, and there's the only one way to get better, and that's actually to play the damn game. You can't level up. You can't put perks on a perk tree and get a fire sword that shoots out fireballs and blows everyone's balls off. You can't do that.
And
you
the difference, Rick.
Good at it.
The difference in how you play that game when you start, how you handle the combat, and then how you're playing by the end when you've cleared the sea of corpses and you're just laying waste. But the last level of that game, I felt like I was just a Jedi Knight, rolling through enemies. And the combat is beautiful in Hellblade. I had complaints about it when I first played it, but it's very nuanced.
And it's funny, the complaints almost for that game turn out to be user error. It's because you just forgot how to be skilled at a game. We've relied so much on perk trees and leveling up and boons and things like that to make our characters better, to make up for our inefficiencies as a gamer. And so this game doesn't give you a tutorial. It doesn't tell you anything. It just lets you kind of start your own wandering. It doesn't tell you how to dodge, dip, duck, or dive, or dodge. It just lets you kind of figure it out by getting smacked in the face a bunch of times.
When I discovered that there was a kick 'em in the chest button.
Oh, yeah.
It was wonderful.
Or when it drops the bomb on you and says, if this thing reaches your head, It's over. Done. Like, that game is probably it's the best game of 2017. So that, honestly,
Here.
our 2017.
I think that we should like
Game of the
glue
Year.
together some game cases into the Stack Award and send it to Ninja Theory. The Stack Award.
We should.
Let's do it.
We totally should. Why is Holoff and Choo Choo saying "damn you, Rick"?
Well, you know, just generally.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
usually it's good practice to throw that out every now and then.
Yeah, there's something I've done to earn that at some point.
Mhm.
Save the time. So anyway, I'm gonna let one of you two take the next category of most anticipated games of 2018.
Shalene, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so this is just some of the games that we're anticipating. If you are joining us live in chat, please drop in there your own most anticipated games.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow of the Colossus, the remaster, coming out. So that's coming out on PlayStation 4, February the 6th. Kingdom
Ooh, that's
Come
right around the
Deliverance.
corner.
That'll be out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC February 13th. Sea of Thieves is coming out March the 20th on Xbox One and PC. I'm pretty excited for Sea of Thieves. Guys, I got an email that I get Sea of Thieves beta access and we can stream it. This time it's not under NDA, so we can stream it on the channel. So, yay.
That's exciting.
Indeed.
I gotta look more into that game.
Hopefully it's that's exciting.
A Way Out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on March 23rd. Something that's really cool about A Way Out is that you only need to own one copy of the game. So only one of us has to buy it, and the other can join in and play along.
I'm really excited to play that with you, Shalene.
I think we should point out at this point that is an EA game. So it's basically going to turn into Prison Break. You guys remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's
I
like
want to
they
be.
get out of
I want to be Walter.
But no, they get out of prison, but there's still like 6 more episodes to go, and it's just stupid. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, to find out how they escape prison as you're climbing out the hole that you just made, pay us like however much money because it's EA.
And Shalene will be like, "No, where's my credit card?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. And I'd be like, I can't remember my PIN number. Oh, goodness. Does this thing take PayPal? Red Dead Redemption 2. PS4 and Xbox One. Sorry, PC players. Q1, Q2.
I am looking forward to that game so much.
I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
What's surprising me in the chat right now is the amount of remastered games that are getting pulled up is like
Everybody wants a remastered game this
why?
year.
Mhm.
You played the thing
Fallout,
already.
I'm
Fallout
actually...
New Vegas remastered.
That was you. That was you, to be fair. That was
I
you.
gotta,
That's me throwing out my shameless plug.
I got to admit that that video that was dropped in our Facebook of the Fallout 4 engine running in New Vegas looks pretty freaking cool.
I haven't watched that yet.
It looks pretty
I need
cool.
to check that out. Assassin's Creed Rogue is getting a remaster in March 20th, I believe, is when that launches.
Which one's
Bree and Captain Bones have both mentioned that. Rogue is the one where the Irish guy used to be an assassin, and he decides... and then he
It's a safe
switches...
assumption for us Irish folks.
Oh man, that's one hell of a slip.
He switches sides and starts hunting the assassins instead. I'm actually looking forward to that one because I missed it the first time around.
By the way, Vault Dweller in the chat says June 8th for Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
So-
really? Really?
Yeah, I had put
I was
Q1,
unaware of
Q2
this.
as quarter 1, quarter 2, like the first half of the year. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Skull and Bones is another pirate game. I think it frankly looks much better than Sea of Thieves.
I would agree with you, and I think that they are really going to take Sea of
Mhm.
Thieves for a run for their money.
When
Yeah.
the Red Dead 2 and that pirate game.
Anthem. I'm not looking forward to Anthem. Who put this on the list? Who put that on the list?
I take it you're looking forward to Anthem?
Me?
No, Shalene.
No, Anthem.
So
I
are
don't
we-
want
are-
Anthem. I want Dragon Age 4. Come on, get with it.
Are we gonna play Anthem and hate it together, Shalene?
Probably.
Yeah, I figure that's how it's gonna go.
Metro Exodus looks incredible. Metro Exodus looks really cool. I still haven't finished Last Light. I need to go back and finish Last Light.
I have to finish that too.
And at the end of the wire here, I added God of War to this list. I am so looking forward to this new God of War game. I've never played a God of War game before. Tell me, guys, if you're God of War fans, I would like for you to tweet at me at Shalene L or send us an email, info@wejustlovegames.com. Tell me if those old God of War games hold up and if I should go back and play them, because this new God of War game looks fantastic. I love the setting. I love what they're doing with sound. I love that there's like a sun button and you can just, throw your sun at the enemies. I don't think that's actually a thing you can do, but it looks amazing. I can't wait for God of War. Also, The Last of Us 2, not on this list. So,
yes.
Last of Us 2, another game that is going to be amazing, I'm sure. So,
I still have to play the first one.
Yeah. Days Gone, Vault Tech Dweller in the chat is talking about Days Gone. As much as I love Sam Witwer, who is portraying the protagonist in Days Gone, I'm not interested. I'm not.
The whole zombie survival horror thing's kind of played out at this point, anyway.
And there's I didn't include it on the list because that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I think so.
I was kind of like, this game is going to stumble out of the gates. What if it's like the next PUBG?
I doubt it.
What if it surprises us all and then it ends up on the list next year?
It's our game of the year. That would be amazing.
Oh, gosh. I don't think I'd ever pick a zombie survival horror game as a game of the year. Unless it was like really good.
Have you played The Last of Us yet?
No, I haven't done that yet, and that year's over.
Please play The Last of Us, Rick.
It's been so long since he wanted to play it. It's no longer called The Last of Us. It's The First of Us. Just move that up to the top.
Please, Rick, please play The Last of Us.
So, do you guys have any like most anticipated games of 2000?
For me, Sea of Thieves and Skull and Bones. This is gonna be my pirate year, guys. Very excited.
So no more ARK.
I might give some. I see what you did there. I might give some Red Dead Redemption some much needed anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to find out what we're gonna see at E3 this year before I get super excited, because I think we are going to get some exciting announcements at E3. And I don't have anything super specific in mind, but I think that Bethesda has changed the game in terms of the distance between game announcement and game release. And I think it's possible, totally likely even, that we don't even know about the game that we're going to love the most this year.
Does it have to do with the 126 on your Fallout loot?
Oh, no. I didn't really want to start that hype train, but let's go ahead and start it anyway. So,
I was curious to see what that little text string was about, because it looked a little intriguing.
The loot crates. So I did an unboxing of the Fallout loot crate, the first Fallout loot crate. And there were 2 figurines that came on stands, and the stands were like a vault door. And the vault door has a number on it, 126. And intrepid listener Archin went ahead and checked out some other unboxing videos to confirm if that was the same number on all of the stands or if it was numbered figurines. And it was the same number on all of the stands. So, of course, there is no known Vault 126. And that was something that I thought of right away as I was doing the unboxing, but I didn't really want to start that hype train. So I didn't say anything. But what if they're trying to give us a little tease of something that's coming up?
I'm going to be paying attention to the 26th of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right. I was thinking 126 days. I was going to do a little countdown of seeing when 126 days was. But I would love to see something new from the Fallout franchise. I don't think we'll see a Fallout 5, certainly, but maybe an MMO, or maybe something like New Vegas that's sort of built on the Fallout 4 tech by a different studio, maybe Arcane or Bethesda Montreal.
Cheez-Its on Rye points out that there's only 122 vaults in Fallout America.
That is correct.
But Bethesda has played it fast and loose with the lore before, and I don't think they would worry too much about doing it again.
True.
Huh.
My pick, at least at this point in time, this early on in the year, is ironically a remastered game. I'm looking forward to Shadow of the Colossus, which happens to be my favorite game of all time ever in the world game. And I'm looking forward to playing it on updated gen graphics. I'm glad I have a PlayStation 4 now to play it. But beyond that, for non-remasters, I'm really looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2. The last Western game that I played was Gun, and it was meh. So I'm looking forward to a good Western game because I love me some Westerns.
You know,
As a matter of fact, I've got to finish Hell on Wheels. That was a great show.
Rick, did you get that PlayStation Now? Did you go for that? Did you pull the trigger on that?
I did not. I did not.
Okay. I was going to ask if they had included in there Red Dead Redemption, the original one.
I think they did.
Because it holds up. I was playing it the other day, and that game holds up. It does not look like a last-gen game. It holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Still pretty good. So...
Red Dead Redemption is on PlayStation Now.
Yeah, so that's something you might consider playing.
I know, but $100 a year is just so
I know,
freaking much.
I know, but you play so many games.
And I need to actually slow down on games. I need to focus on my career. I need to stop playing so many freaking games. But they just keep coming out one after another, like it's some sort of moneymaker scheme.
I wish my career would let me play some video games. I haven't played since I finished Thimbleweed, which has been quite a few days. So
I just need to get a job in the game industry, then I'll solve both problems.
no, then you'll never have time to play video games, Rick. You'll just be working on making video games.
Give me a job in the sound industry in video games, and I'll be your lover for life.
But then you could send us video games that you were working on. You could send us like early builds of video games.
See, honestly, my long con is to get a job at Bethesda in the sound department so I can just constantly leak Fallout stuff to you guys.
It would be amazing.
I'm kidding.
You get a beta, and you get a beta.
I'm kidding, Pete Hines. Hire me. I'm good. Anyway, so that's kind of our thoughts for last year and this year. There was some laughter, some tears of joy, and some anticipation for the next couple games. I believe we have some stuff though that we don't want anymore. Isn't that true, Vendor?
That's right, guys. Christmas isn't over. Well, it is, but not on Gamestack Podcast because we have more games to give away. And this is certainly not the bottom of the list. Hint, hint. Watch for some tweets going out in the next 2 weeks for yet another giveaway here on the podcast. But let's get started. What are we giving away today? We're giving away 5 video games today.
5 golden games?
5 golden games.
What's the first one that we're giving away?
Well, just before we get started, I want to point out that we actually took a little bit of different of approach because Rafflecopter is terrible. So Rafflecopter, if you're listening, your software is terrible.
They just
probably just quit life. I just went through Twitter and said like or retweet this tweet to enter, which was way simpler. So that was the end of that. So watch for a tweet so you can enter into the next giveaway. But our first game is Gary's Mod.
There's a lot of fun to be had there.
Yes, Gary's Mod is our first contender, made by developer Facepunch Studios, publisher Valve. It was released November 2006. It's an oldie but a goodie, but Gary's Mod is a sandbox physics game created by Gary Newman in which you can do anything and everything that you want. It is rated 10 out of 10 on Steam. A fantastic game. I've played it myself, and good luck to the winners. What have we got for our random number generator?
17.
That puts us at Jason H.
Ooh,
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, it does.
We will reach out to you guys by sending you a personal message on Twitter or Discord. By the way, if you haven't joined our Discord, please do so. Send us a personal message on Twitter, and we will get you access to that.
Wonderful.
So that is the first game. Let me just make note of that so I don't forget.
Do you want me? I'll say the next game while you're writing that down.
Sure.
The next game is Cube Director's Cut. Developer/publisher Toxic Games released May 2014. Cube is a physics-based puzzle game developed and published by Toxic Games, which I already said, with help from Indie Fund, a group of successful independent game developers. Rated 9 out of 10 on Steam, 76 on Metacritic, and 4 out of 5 on GOG.com. So who, Shalene, is our lucky winner?
14.
14. Who's
Fella
14?
Kook. Fella Kook goes by Twitter handle Ingrid Fella. Congratulations. We'll reach out to you via personal message.
Awesome. Shalene, take third one.
I'm sorry. I wasn't even looking at it.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm not even there.
I'll take
you
it.
need to do
Defend Your Life. Developer, publisher, Alda Games. Not Alan Alda, just Alda. Released April 2015. Defend Your Life is a tower defense set in the human body, where players are fighting against villain hordes of viruses and bacteria because the vaccines you didn't get from your levels and units correspond to reality, to the reality of human anatomy. It is rated 9 out of 10 on Steam and 78% on Steam DB. What is Steam DB?
Steam Direct Buy.
Oh, okay. So,
I think, yeah.
Who's our winner for that?
I was opening the document instead of being on random.
I would just like to point out that 24 is Archin. No,
Hey!
no. I'm
No.
mistaken. It is our internet mother, Shwendi.
Hey, congratulations,
I
mommy.
apologize, Archin. You were next on the list. We'll give you something off the air. This game, by the way, guys, if you watch the video of it, the trailer of it on Steam, it's actually pretty cool. The art is really, really quite something.
So our next game is Gunpoint from Suspicious Developments. Released in June 2013, Gunpoint is a stealth-based puzzle platform video game created by indie developer Tom Francis. The game was released for Microsoft Windows on the 3rd of June 2013 and soon followed with versions for OS X and Linux. Linux, I almost said. That was bad.
Can't believe you almost said that.
Wow.
It is rated 9 out of 10 by
This game
IGN.
is so cool, you guys. I really want to get the soundtrack, actually, because it's pretty awesome. I think I might get it myself. Yeah.
I've done a few game tutorials from Tom Francis, and he's currently developing another game right now. So it's this game really kickstarted his
What are
career.
some other games from Tom Francis?
I think this one might be the only one, but he's working on a second indie game, and it's like hexagon based, like hexagon moves and stuff. I haven't really looked into it. I mainly found him because I was looking into programming myself, which he has a couple cool tutorials about how to make games out there. That's all.
Oh, can I add another most anticipated? Okay, let's award this first. Number 2.
Oh, good job, number 2.
Number 2 is Shoot Your Eye Out.
Hey, he's also in the chat, I believe.
No, Shoot
Fantastic.
Your Eye Out
Nope.
is a lady.
Oh, Holloff and Choo Choo.
Yeah, you're mixing up our listeners there.
Yeah.
Shoot Your Eye Out is, I'm pretty sure Shoot Your Eye Out is lady. Anyway, congratulations to Shoot Your Eye Out. And I would like to add another most anticipated game to my list, Manifold Garden by William Cheer,
I don't even know.
which
I'll have to check that out.
is a weird sort of
Mechanics
architectural puzzle game, and it looks amazing. But I see what you did there, Mechanics Sim.
Welcome to Manifold Heaven, or whatever it was called.
I see what you did there.
What was it? Manifold what?
Garden.
Manifold Garden.
Manifold
Welcome
Garden.
to Manifold Garden.
Everybody
All
should
we have
Google.
here to build is Transams.
Everybody should Google Manifold Garden and ignore Rick and his silly
Yeah.
mechanic puns. I'm sorry. Carry on with the giveaway. I derailed us again as usual.
Manifold Garden.
The last game on our list that we're giving away this evening is called The Inner World. If you guys don't know what this game is, it is developed by Studio Fizbin, publisher Head Up Games. Released in September 2013, The Inner World is a 2D point-and-click adventure game, which I might add looks absolutely fantastic. I might get it myself and play it. Together with the help of the mysterious thief Laura, his best intentions and no clue whatsoever, Robert sets off on an adventure to discover the secret of the wind's disappearance. Will the young adventurer be able to save his world? Only the winner will find out tonight on Gamestack Podcast. And our winner is Shalene?
22.
22. That is Ray.
Ray.
Hey.
Yay. We love Ray. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations once again to all our winners. I will send an email to you within the next 24 to 48 hours, or personal message, or however I can contact you, with the link so you can download and install that. Don't forget, this isn't the end of the Gamestack giveaways for 2018.
Mm-mm.
We are doing more in following podcasts, so share that information with your friends. Keep an eye out for our tweet, so you can like and retweet to enter into the Gamestack giveaway, and congratulations once again to the winners.
So can I make a
Congrats.
joke? A bad joke? What do you
Well,
call a werewolf YouTuber? A like and subscribe.
Oh,
guys,
that's so bad.
that was our podcast for today. Thank you for joining us for the 2017 Stack Awards. We do have a listener email. We're not going to read it this time. We'll get to that next time, but just a shout out to that listener. We will be reading your email. Do you guys have anything you wanna plug or mention before we take off?
No,
Okay.
just be here next week.
Great. We will have a stream of a video game. It's going to be good times. I did a Loot Crate unboxing. We mentioned that earlier. You can find that on our YouTube channel. It does not have a tidy URL, but you can find it by Googling We Just Love Games on YouTube. And also, we post links to that kind of thing pretty regularly on our social media.
I want to say one
ahead.
thing before we keep. I just wanted to interrupt you. I did have something to say. For our stream nights, if you guys have suggestions for what you want us to stream, please email us or tweet at us or get in touch with us and let us know. So I don't think we've ever asked anyone if they wanted or had suggestions for us to stream.
But we are certainly open to suggestions, and that was a very, very good thing to mention, Rick. I'm glad
Just
you did.
one quick last thing before we leave. Vaultech Dweller in the chat has a question for us. They're asking, what's your all-time favorite game on the original NES?
I'm just gonna have to go with Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt
Which
is my
always
favorite.
had the most sexual name, if you ask me. I can't remember the name of the game that I liked. Honestly, like I've always tried to search for it. I found it once, and I could never find it again. So I can't give you the name of my absolute favorite game for the NES because I really don't remember it. I played it when I was like 8 or 7. But the one I do remember is Gyrus. That was the coolest soundtrack, cool game, awesome game.
You know what, to be honest, I'm in the same boat. There's a game that I played and I just can't remember it. I think it was Super Mario Brothers 2.
How could
Mario
you
Brothers
kind
2
of-
was the one where they like throw turnips and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow!
Oddly enough, I really loved that, but I'm just scrolling through the other games right now.
Did you guys ever play Bible Adventures for the NES?
No, I missed that one.
Oh, it was so much fun. You were like Mary and you were carrying baby Jesus on your head. No,
Are
no,
you
were
serious?
You were Moses's mother and you were carrying little Moses on your head and you had to avoid Roman guards
That
and chuck him.
sounds incredible.
You would like the Noah one because you had to run around and jump on trees and collect the animals and put them in the ark.
Wow. I'm
But
so sorry to have missed that.
Yeah.
The game that I can't remember was a shooter game, and it is not the one I can't remember the other name of. But I remember it had these hidden doors where you could like flip the doors around, and there'd sometimes be like prisoners that you would rescue, and like there were hidden doors in the middle of like the wall or something. And I just don't remember what that shooter game was. It was amazing.
Do you guys remember River City Ransom?
It sounds super familiar.
It was like one of the first open world games.
Mm-hmm.
It was an action role-playing sort of shoot 'em up, beat 'em up video game.
I didn't play that one, but I have heard of it.
We should not continue this conversation, and we should make episodes based on our favorite games from past consoles.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. I thought of earlier today. Last week on Twitter there was that thing going around where it was like post your favorite game from every console you've ever owned. We should do a podcast based on that.
Yeah, we should.
It would be fun. So I just want to Almost Ghost in the chats asks if the stream happens at the same time. Yes, the stream is at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern every Friday. If it's not a podcast, then we'll be here with the game stream. So anything else, guys?
Nope, I got nothing.
Yeah, we haven't really decided on what we're going to stream next week, but stay tuned. We'll keep you guys posted.
If you would like to continue telling us interesting things, you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can also find us on Twitter at wejustlovegames. I'm at Shalene L. Rick is at Rick McVick, and Vendertron is at VendertronN. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/wejustlovegames, facebook.com/groups/wejustlovegames. We've got a Discord server. Send us a message on any other social media channel and we'll get you a link to our Discord channel. We record live and I just told you the times, but it's twitch.tv/wejustlovegames. Give us a subscribe, sign up for alerts so that you'll never miss a live stream. And we have also a YouTube channel. Definitely check us out there, subscribe. And if you ever miss the live Twitch stream, we do post those archives on YouTube so you can check them out. And the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and wherever fine podcasts are given away. Please subscribe and leave us a review. It's going to be good times. Thanks for listening, guys. You have anything else you want to go with?
Just one other thing before we leave. I forgot to mention those people who are our lucky winners this evening. Install your game and play it and send us a screenshot and enter it as a Gamestack challenge. If you haven't won a game, pick up a free copy on Steam of something, play it, send us a screenshot. You can tweet at us at We Just Love Games. Don't forget to include the hashtag Gamestack challenge, and we will for sure. We promise that we will have a Gamestack challenge in the next episode.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.